This right here might just be my biggest book unboxing to this day. And also loads of bookmarks. But let me explain. First of all, I would like a round of applause to me, who finally gave in to making a YouTube video, because I'm so tired of cutting half of my videos to fit it on TikTok, because there's a big book talk community there, but my videos are always so long and I always have to cut them so short, and I feel like it loses all the spark that I have talking about the books. So I decided, you know what, I will finally give in and I'll record a YouTube video, because at least I can make 30-minute videos and who cares. Okay, so first of all, let me try to explain this. So me and my boyfriend always go on summer vacations that are a little longer than your typical summer vacation, and to different places than you might think. So this year our summer vacation lasted 3 months, and we went through Europe and also went through Central Asia. That's a lot of countries. We did 10 or 11 countries just this summer. So I always try to get a bookmark from each country, and that's my explanation to why I have so many. But yeah, I just want to fly through them because they are so cute. First of all, I need to show this and this. So I live in Finland, and I never actually bought a bookmark from Finland. So as soon as we landed here, I was like, you know what, it's kind of stupid that I don't have these countries bookmark. So I got a bookmark from Finland, super cute. I also got one from Portugal, which is where I'm from, that I also didn't have a bookmark from Portugal. So I got this one. It's in Porto, and I love Porto. Porto is my home. So I got this one, super cute as well. These ones are cute, but they're not really like specific from the country, they were just cute, and I wanted to buy them from Uzbekistan. 7 bulls, super cute as well. This is so tiny, it's so cute, so tiny. So this one is from Kyrgyzstan. Then also not really the countries, but it was in a bookstore where I bought a book, so I bought a bookmark as well. It says stop dreaming and start doing, and this one is from Tajikistan. From Brno in Czech Republic. Super cute. This is probably the cutest bookmark I've ever seen. It's so pretty. Also from Czech Republic, I also got this Český Krumlov, which is super cute. Český Krumlov was probably my favorite place in Czech Republic. I absolutely adored it, and I think it's such a cute place if you want to take like your family on vacation. That's such a cute place to go because it's by the lake and it's a super small town. Loved it. This bookmark from Slovakia, it has the mountains because we were staying right by the mountains. Lithuania, we got 2 from a bookstore. They were for free. I absolutely love them. They are massive. I got 2 from Budapest because it was my favorite city. They are so cute. And from Latvia, from Riga, I got this in a bookstore that was probably the best bookstore I've seen. It's called Yanis Rose, and I got so many cheap books from there. I wanted to fill up my bag, but I didn't have the space because we are backpackers. So I didn't have the space to buy many more. So I only got, I think, 2 or 3. I love them. I love them. Obviously from Greece. I also have been to Greece multiple times, but I've never gotten a bookmark. So here it is. It's super cute. I love it. It's super white and blue and colorful. I love it. We went to visit my family in Portugal. I took my parents on a trip to Spain and to the south of Portugal because they've never been, because it's so expensive. So I took them there, and I got a Spanish bookmark that it's actually super cute. It's a woman, a dancer, and it's super vibrant, the green, the red, the flamingo. I love it. And it says España in the bottom. And that's it on the bookmarks. I tried to go very quickly, but it was still a long time. So now we're gonna go into the actual books. I don't know if you can see, but there are so many. I'm gonna try to organize them in piles so I can make this the most quick and efficient way possible. That took a while. But I finally organized it. I had to organize it in 4 piles, and let me count how many books. 1, 2, 3. 36 books. 36 books. It's exactly the amount of books that Lucas gave me for Christmas last year. He gave me 36 books. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to explain this very quickly. These were books from the European part of the trip. So it's books that I either took with me or that I ended up buying on all of those countries that we did in Europe. Then we have books that I bought in Central Asia. Actually, this belongs here. Books that I bought in Portugal, and books that Lucas got me waiting for me in Finland once we got here. So let's start from the beginning. The books that I took or ended up buying in Europe. It's good to notice that I didn't pay more than 10 euros on any of these books because I was backpacking. I didn't have a lot of space, so I needed to buy cheap books that I could also drop behind to create space for more books, you know. So I was always buying, reading, leaving them behind, getting new ones. So I really didn't want to pay more than 10 euros per book, and I think I didn't. There's only one book here that was over 10 euros, and it was Lucas who bought it for me as a present. So I didn't pay more than 10 euros on any of the books, but I might not say the price of the books because they were bought in different countries with different currencies, and I don't want to have to be checking all the time what's the price of them. But let's start so we get the hang of this and do this as quickly as I possibly can. This was a book from Hungary, and I know exactly the price because it says on the inside it was 2,000 kron, which translates to 5 euros and something. It was really hard to find an English bookstore in Hungary, or not an English bookstore, but a bookstore that had an English section. Until we went in Budapest, we went to a castle, and there was this super cute little village, and there was the cutest bookstore ever. It was just stacked from the floor to the ceiling with English books, and I tried to get something cheap, and this was the cheapest I could get. It was $5, and it was the only one I could find that sounded interesting, but I ended up giving it like a 3-star. Characters here felt very mature, and they're supposed to be on their 30s, but they were acting like they were teenagers, so something wasn't matching up there, and I didn't really connect to them. So I gave it a 3-star because it was still fun to read, but nothing more. This I actually took with me from Finland. Love at First book by Jen McKinley. It was great. I gave it a 5-star if I'm not mistaken. It's super nice, and it's a book about books, so you know I love that, and it's a super romantic, and the way that they wrote the romance, it was crazy. I was in a role with such trash romances that were feeling super cringy. But then it comes this book, and God bless Jen McKinley that wrote this book, and the romance is actually like super romantic, it's not super fast, but also not very slow paced, like just perfect, and it's barely there. It's like the subplot is the romance, because she has so much going on for her life, this main character, that the romance is kind of like the subplot, and I loved it. One of the books that I got for free, I actually got this one and 2 others, which were The Staycation and The Burnout by Sophie Kinsella. I don't know who wrote The Staycation, but those 2 books. And this was the best one. That's why the other ones didn't even make it back to Finland. The Burnout, I just had bigger expectations. I don't know, I was seeing it everywhere. I was kind of like, all the bookstores had it in Europe, so I was kind of obsessed and I wanted to buy it. So when I got to Greece, in a hotel, you know, in Europe, all the hotels always have a shelf with some books that you can either, it's books that people leave behind and you can take them with you. You'd like change a book for a book, you know. So I dropped a lot of books, and then I was checking what they had, and they had this, The Burnout, and I got super excited on The Burnout, so I got it. But it was really overhyped. The story didn't really have much happening. It was very like, okay, nice, but nothing like, you know, it was very long. It was a very long book. It was like 400 something pages. Not very long, but for the plot that they had, that was extremely dragged. And it felt very slow to read. So I gave that a 3-star. And then The Staycation, I gave it a 3.25 because the idea was really nice. And it was kind of well executed, but it was just, again, same old. There was a plot, and then kept happening the same thing. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. But this one, on the other hand, I gave it a 5-star. I loved it. It was just a nice read that I needed at that point of my life. It's called Love Hope by Juliet Ann Conlin. It's basically a violinist, which she's very young, she's like 20s or 30s, and then there's an old man, and they start changing lenses back and forth, and you see their friendship develop, and they help each other overcome certain situations in life that you wouldn't expect them to be able to help each other because they're from such different generations. But they do, and it's the cutest thing, and I loved it, and I gave it a 5-star, and it made it back with me, so you can tell that it was a good one. From Czech Republic, I got, I think, these 2 books. Yeah. So this was the one that I said that Lucas gave it to me. It was a little more expensive. This one was 299, but it's in Czech, so it's 11 euros if I'm not mistaken. And it's I Bet You Look Good in a Coffin. This is the newest release of Katie Brandt. She is one of my favorite thriller authors. She makes like these comic thrillers that I find so funny. Last summer, we did a South America and Central America, so Latin America trip, and I read The Murder After the Night Before. I absolutely adored it. I gave it a 5 stars. It was so good. And I love to read thrillers on a beach, so that's exactly what I did. I read that thriller on the beach, and I don't know if it was the setting, the environment, I don't know what it is, but I gave it a 5 star. And then I discovered that she had another book back in that time, which was How to Kill Men and Get Away with It. Lucas bought it to me when we arrived to Finland. He bought that book to me as a present, and unfortunately I didn't love it as much. I still gave it a 4 star, but I just didn't like it as much. But hey, she came out with a new one, which was the second book for that How to Kill Men and Get Away with It. It was the sequel, and I thought, let's give it a try. So as soon as it came out, I think it came out in January, and I was so excited to get it, but then I didn't, and then it was time to travel, and I didn't want to buy more books to take with me because I already had so many books on my backpack. So Lucas got it to me in Czech Republic as a present, and unfortunately I liked it even less. I gave it a 3 star, but hey, at least she's pretty. At least she's pretty. Look at this cover, how stunning it is. Even the back with the droplets of blood, I absolutely love the cover. And it's gonna look perfect on my bookshelf. Even though I didn't like it as much because I love the author so much, it still made it all the way here with me. Greece, we had a family trip with Lucas's family, and I was able to drop some books to them so that they would bring back to Finland, so I would have still more space to buy new books from Central Asia. And this was one of the books that I dropped. Actually, all of this, if I'm not mistaken, not all of them, these 5 books I dropped to them without reading, so then I can read them here in Finland, and I had more space to buy them in Central Asia. So you had The Resolutions of Oliver Clock. If I'm not mistaken, it's a nice but might make me cry type of book, so I can't wait for that. And this one was 49 kron, which is like 2 or 3 euros. I could pay it with a coin. I remember that I could pay it with a coin. Then we have The 7-Year Slip. Everyone and their mother has read this book, but I still haven't read, I think, any Ashley Busson book. So I got this one for 6.94. Oh, this is in euros. So it might be Slovakia maybe? I bought The 7-Year Slip, and I bought Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I've never read any of these authors, but I feel like they're so hyped up that there's no chance I cannot like it. Sally Rooney, actually, I came to realization that she's not that light. Like, her books are like 3.5, 3.6, so it's really not that great. But the story sounds really interesting, so I wanted to give it a try. And she has many other books, so if I like it, there's always more that I can buy. The Immortal King Raw. I know nothing about this book, but it was 7 euros. It was 14, and then it had a promotion of 50%, so it was 7 euros. And I bought this and something else. The Paper Palace. The Paper Palace I ended up leaving behind because I liked it, but it's such a dark book, such a heavy themed book that I didn't want to carry it with me, if that makes sense. I didn't want to carry it with me all the way, so I read it, I left it behind, I let it go, so that vibe was not, stuck to me. I was tired of historical fiction. I read so much historical fiction this summer. Let me see. Winner of the Anna Bangalore Literature Festival Book Prize for Fiction and shortlisted for the Center for Fiction First Nobel Prize. It's also a historical fiction, if I'm not mistaken. Crazy. And then the last book that I bought in Europe that I haven't read is One Last Stop. This is also a gift from Lucas because we made a bet and I won that bet, so he had to buy it to me, and it actually has a price. Yeah, it was €8.68. It's from Casey McKinston, and I think it's quite famous already now, so I believe everyone knows about it. Last 2 books from Europe, but these ones I've read, and probably the most expensive book I bought in Europe. This one was 8 euros, and it's Margot's Got Money Troubles. I wanted this book for so long. You cannot believe it. I wanted this for so long, I just had to buy it. And it's a big one for $8. That's crazy. Because in Finland this book would have cost at least like $16, and 20 was the price when I checked back when I bought this one, so I cannot say I'm mad at it. It was a little disappointing. I don't remember exactly how many stars I gave it, but I'll leave it here. But it was, I don't know, I was expecting, because my expectations were so high, I wanted to read this book for so long. It was the first time that I read about the trope of unwanted or unexpected pregnancy. Oh, I had a bookmark in it! From Yanis Rose. You see, the best bookstore. It was so cheap. And look at these cute bookmarks. And it cost me 40 cents. I remember exactly the price of these bookmarks, so I was so shocked. They were so cheap. I'm gonna leave it here. It was still good. It was still good. Arthur and Teddy are coming out. Also, this book was on my wish list for so long, and I got it for €6. It was in promotion. Instead of $10.90, it was $6. Arthur and Teddy are coming out. It's the grandson and the granddad. So granddad comes out. This book was so nice. This book was so nice. The granddad comes out to his family, and the family, most of the family doesn't accept it, because what you mean, you're divorcing mom at this age. As you can see, he's a granddad. You're divorcing mom, what you mean? But the wife was aware of that, and she was supportive and everything, but his kids, aka his parents, didn't approve of that choice. So you go through all this family dilemma of the family not accepting, but then the grandson becomes like super intrigued about it, because he's gay as well and he wants to come out as well, but he's super nervous because he sees how the family reacted to his granddad. So it's this whole family drama, and I think it was so cute. I loved it so much. It was so funny. I loved it, and I brought it with me all the way, so that says a lot. And we're gonna go to books from Central Asia. These ones I'm gonna have to fly through, because some of them, I think I only read 3 of them. The other ones are still unread, so I don't know the most of it, but they're also very famous books. So if you don't know about these books, something is wrong. This is actually in this pile. Very interesting story, actually. In Uzbekistan, they don't have the original published books, or they do have it, but sometimes, most of the times, they're very expensive, because it's so expensive for them to import the books from America, from the UK. So what they do is they do replicas of books, just like people do replicas of shoes or replicas of clothes. They do replicas of books. And I bought 2 replicas, and I actually gave 5 stars. This was a 6-star book. This was a 6-star for me, and it's Evie Wood's The Lost Bookshop. You probably already know what it's about, but it's just different. It's a hardcover, and you can see the color of the page, like super white compared to a normal book, you know. And also the font is very different. I don't know if you can see it actually, but also the lines, they don't go actually straight, they go like a little wavy. It's barely noticeable, but when you're really immersed in the book, you can see that the lines are going like this. And I even had to ask Lucas, like, am I tripping? Are my eyes tripping? Or is this not straight? But yeah, and the paper quality is also very different, but it should have the same words, and I loved it. It was a 6-star. I absolutely loved it. I cannot wait to read more by her. And then I also got Anxious People by Frederick Backman. Everyone and their mother has read this book. It was my first book by him, and I also loved it. It was so nicely written. I didn't expect it to captivate me as much as it did. But I was mind blown, and I also cannot wait to read more from this author. So you see, they were replica books, but they were so worth it. So worth it. And I bought them in Uzbekistan, which was, I think, the only country where I was able to find English books, because in Central Asia they use way more Russian than they do English. So it's very rare that you'll find English-speaking people, and even more that you'll find an English section on the bookstores. So in Uzbekistan they had this English-only bookstore with replicas and also some normal ones, but I ended up choosing the replicas because for me it was super exciting. Like, I was super interested in knowing how this would look. They ended up being great. I don't regret them at all, and they were very cheap. One was 40,000 Uzbek, the other one was 50,000 Uzbek, which translates to 2 and 3 euros if I'm not mistaken. So very, very cheap for these like super known books. I was mind blown. And then also, when I bought those and I read those and I saw that they were so good, I decided to go to the same chain of bookstores, but they had a bigger one. So I went to that bigger one and I got these 4 books. This was on the very last days of the trip, so I knew that I would be able to carry them. So I got these 4 books. I got 2 by Frida McFadden. I got The Boyfriend, and I got Locked Door. Then I got Lucy Foley, The Guest List. Everyone knows about this, I think. It's very famous. And also very cheap. I believe these ones were on average 60,000. So I would say 4 euros a book. And I got Lisa Jewell, None of This Is True. This might be coming soon on my TBR because I cannot wait to read these two. I cannot wait to read these two. So then I had some books delivered to Portugal. I'm gonna start with these two. This is Darling Girls by Sally Apworth, and I can show you. I had this on my TBR for so long, on my wish list, not my TBR. I had this on my wish list for so long, but I never actually got around to buying it. And then I got to Portugal and my aunt wanted to give me a gift, and she just said, send me a screenshot of like send me a list of books that you're interested in and I'll see if I can find any. She did not find one. She found 2 books from that wish list and she got me those 2 books as a present. So it's Darling Girls and Silent Patient. Also, this one has been so popular everywhere, so I believe I don't even need to talk about it. I saw this book actually in Uzbekistan when I was shopping for these 4 books. I saw this book there and I was so close to buying it, but I ended up not choosing that and going with the guest list. And then I get to Portugal and my aunt actually had this bought for me, so hey, you can say it was fate. These were books that I had delivered to my house in Portugal. Because it was in promotion and I really wanted to get them. We have The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. This cost me €7.50 instead of 15. Books in Portugal are so expensive. I did not realize that until this year when I went there, and the normal price of this book was $15. What you mean? What you mean? But it was in promotion, so I got it for $7.50, which is exactly half of the price. So I got The Road Trip. It came with the wrong cover. It had on the website, it showed that it was the other cover, the blue with a car, this cover. But guess what? It did not come like that. It came like this, and then it was already past the time that I could return it. When I actually went to the website to complain, it was already past the time, so I just read it, and I'll just have to stick it on the bookshelf like this, and no one will see the cover, because I really don't like this Netflix cover. It's not Netflix, actually, Paramount Plus. I really don't like that cover, but anyway. Got that for $7.50. Then I got The Girl in the Mirror, which is actually the thriller that I'm reading right now. It used to be €14, but I got it for $7.23. It's a really good thriller. So far, I'm so immersed in it. It's so good. But yeah, it's basically about 2 twins. One has a perfect life, the other one wants that life, and she kind of steals the life of the other twin. Look, I'll let you know when I finish, but it's so good. Another thriller was The Last One at the Wedding by Jason Rakula, the author of Hidden Pictures. And this book used to be €20. I got it for €8 instead of 20. That's like 60% off. And yeah, it was a bit disappointing. I already read it as well. It was a bit disappointing. I was expecting, because of Hidden Pictures, I gave it a 5 star. It was so good. It made me poop my pants. I was scared every single page. Every time like a drawing came up, I was pooping my pants. So when this book came out, I really wanted to read it. And then I finally got to it. In Portugal, it was the first book I read, but it's very disappointing because it's not really a horror book. It's like I don't even think it's a thriller. It's just like a suspense, a drama. There's a lot of drama, but there's not much thriller. There's not much horror. There's no horror at all. The thriller also wasn't very thrilling. So I would consider it's just a suspense. Like, don't go with the expectations that you will love it as much as Hidden Pictures if you loved Hidden Pictures because of the horror factor of it. But it was okay. I think I gave it a 3 star. So I think it's just because I went with the wrong expectations. And then lastly, from that book order, I got the dog. Oh, yeah, I forgot to show this bookmark. It's the cutest thing. Also bought it from Porto, and it's a sardine because Portugal is so famous because of the sardines. And I got this sardine one, and it's so cute. It's so cute. Actually, I'm gonna leave it out so I can use it on the next book. The other book is something that I actually never heard of, but it was €5. It was original price $14.75, but I got it for $5.90, so €6. And I never heard nothing about it, but the cover is just covering. The cover is gorgeous, and you know how they say never judge a book by its cover, but look at its floppiness. Look at this cover. And it's called The Dog of the North by Elizabeth Mackenzie. I also just know that the main character is going through a rough path. She's at the very bottom, and I don't know nothing else. I just know that she's having a hard time. And she has a dog. And there's a caravan, so I'm expecting a little road trip. That's all. And then, This one is bought in Porto in a physical bookstore. This has such bad reviews. This is probably, if I ever do my TBR jar when we get back home, if I ever do my TBR jar and it comes the prompt lowest rated book on your TBR, this is gonna be it. You know how many stars this is? This has 2.88 on Goodreads. I can put it here so you see I'm not lying. 2.88. And I still paid €4. €4. I found it, of course I wouldn't buy it for the normal price, because normal price in Finland are like €15, same as Portugal. I wouldn't buy it for the normal price, but I got it in an English bookstore in Porto called Rosebud, and they have a whole TBR cart just with used books for much cheaper. I don't know, it just calls for me. I know everyone hates it. I know, I get the picture, it's 2.88. But I want to give it a try, because what if everyone hates it, but I love it? It was the same with the Holiday Bookshop. It also doesn't have that great reviews, and it's also a very less known book. It barely has any ratings. But I gave it a 5-star, and if I could give 6, I would give 6. It was such a good book, but again, it might be the setting of where I was, the environment I was, that made me give it such a high rate. But I hope that the same happens to this. I'm gonna read this exactly when I want to. This is gonna be for Halloween for sure. It's called The Little Coffee Shop of Terrors. How can you not like that? How can you not like that? I'm out of breath. There's so many books, I'm out of breath. Yeah, so those were from Portugal. All of these babies were from Portugal. And mind you, I had to carry this and this in my backpack, okay? I had to carry this in my backpack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I still had some of these on my backpack. I think I actually posted a story a few days ago with the books that I was carrying on my backpack. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it was 18 books that I was carrying in my backpack. I literally had more books in my backpack than I had pieces of clothing, for you to understand the level. But yeah, so I was carrying all this, and then when we landed in Helsinki, we spent the night in Helsinki because I really wanted to go explore a little more. I love Helsinki, so we went there again and spent there a night. And we went to a bookstore called Academia, and I love that bookstore. And I found this book. Look, it's by Catherine Riley, which is a pen name. She writes under many pen names. It's a pseudonym for an author. Oh, it doesn't say the actual name, but she writes under Catherine Riley, Katie Birchall, and Ivy Bailey. So she has Match Point that I gave 2 stars. I did not like that book at all. It's very graphic for the hot scenes. It's very spicy. I would give it like a 4 out of 5 spice. I don't like when the language is so explicit. So I had to read a lot of that because most of the pages were those scenes, and it's just not my thing. So maybe if you like spice, that might be just up your alley. And then we were in the bookstore and I saw this, which is the new release that I'm not sure if it's already released or not, of Ride the Wave. It's a surf romance, so the Match Point's about a tennis romance. This one is about surfing, and as you can see by the back, it takes place in Portugal and Australia. I'm from Portugal and I would really love to go to Australia. So what did I think? It only makes sense, right? It only makes sense. Even though I gave it 2 stars to the other book, we give it another try. So I did. And it's a bit chunkier. This is 430 pages. Yeah, 430 pages of smut. Okay? That's what happens. I like this book more than I did the other one. The hot scenes weren't at least as graphic, or they were graphic, but the language, it's really about the language. It just bothers me when the language is so dirty. So this language was way more reasonable without me having to squint at the page and be like, ugh. It's actually readable, it was actually readable. And a problem that still happens here, that happened on the other book as well, is that the characters are a little too immature for me. The other book, the girl and the boy, they couldn't communicate to save their lives. And the girl just goes in front of the public, the dude is a professional tennis player, and the girl just goes in public and throws a drink to his face and is super dramatic about a problem that was this big of a problem. And she just goes and throws a drink in his face, and it's all this drama, and I'm like, girl, are you 5? So yeah, this one, had a bit of the same thing. I think, as I said to Lucas, I got this book and I think it's probably the last one that I'm gonna read by her. This is probably it. It was a 3-star. It's still a very nice setting, and so the hot parts, the scenes are much better. The characters are not as immature on the first one. And I also like that this is about the best friend of the main character on the previous book. They might have been written with that goal of being connected standalones. You can definitely read it without reading Matchpoint. If what I just described is also not your thing, then just leave Matchpoint behind and go to this, because you might enjoy this much more. And it gives you some spoilers of how the life of the other couple is now back in this time. I don't know. It was quite interesting, but it was a nice read. It was 3-star. It was a nice read. I enjoyed it. Just not a 5-star. But it was really, really nice and very summery, because it happens on a beach in Portugal, Australia. It's a surf competition. So that was quite nice. These are all books there that Bookish had waiting for me here in Finland, because I was very nervous to go to the Central Asia trip, because it wasn't countries that I was very excited about, because I've never heard of some of the countries. Like I mentioned, we went to Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan. I've never heard of Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. Never heard of those, so I was very nervous to go. And then when the trip ended and we were in Portugal, he dropped the hint that there was a present waiting for me in Finland. And then another hint that there's books waiting for you in Finland. And I thought it would be like 1 or 2 books. There's 11. There's 11 books here. Like, what you mean? All the books that are here are on my wish list. So it was a 10 out of 10 book present, you know? It was a 10 out of 10. I'm gonna put it here so I can stack them on the floor. You've reached Sam, you know. Everyone knows. And there's actually a second one already out or coming out. And you've called, I don't know. I'll put it here. Very excited to read this. It's been on my wish list for so long and everyone already has read them. It's whenever I'm feeling like crying. That's when I'm gonna pick up this book. Probably not many people know about this book, but I don't know. I've had this author, Freya Samson. I've had this author on my radar for so long, but all the books that I wanted them with a specific cover. For example, The Nosy Neighbors, the normal one is a blue cover, and I want the orange with the women looking through the mail. And there's also this, that was probably the one I wanted, the second one that I wanted the most, because The Nosy Neighbor is the one that I absolutely adore and I want to read it so bad. But then there's this, The Girl on the 88th Bus. I'm a sucker for older generations, you know? And this has Frank, if I'm not mistaken. Frank, who's been taking the same bus, 88th bus, to try to find the woman or the girl that he met 50, 60 years ago. He takes the same bus every day to try to find that person. Tell me that's not crazy. It's the same as Love Hope. I don't know where it is, but it's the same as Love Hope. I'm a sucker for this type of older men or older generations with younger generations getting together to, you know, I don't know. I love it and I can't wait. Another one. Another 10 out of 10. Remarkably Bright Creatures. Also, always sold here in Finland with an orange cover, and I always want this cover. That's gorgeous. It did come with sprayed edges. I'm not the biggest fan of sprayed edges, but I'm not mad, because at least there's the cover that I adore, and everyone already has heard about Remarkably Bright Creatures. You cannot go a summer without really reading Carly Fortune or Calabash Stone. So I got Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. He got me this because there was a One Golden Summer in promotion and I didn't buy it because I saw that it was connected to this one. So he wanted me to get to One Golden Summer, so he got me this one so I could read this one and then read the One Golden Summer. So I got Every Summer After. I gave it a 4.5 star. I didn't love it just because I'm not a fan of the trope that gets involved here. I didn't really enjoy how the ending was done, was wrapped up in 50 pages. Like, the whole book was leading up to that moment, and then the moment comes and in 50 pages it's done. So it felt a little rushed. I didn't like it. But I heard that One Golden Summer follows Charlie, so I can't wait to read Charlie's point of view. I hope that he's with Delilah, but I'll be happy if it's not Delilah as well. I'll be happy. Then we got Promise Me Sunshine. I haven't read it yet, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait. She's also so famous. Calabash Stone is so famous for these summery books. And I think this summer is the summer. But I had to give it a break. So I read this, and I was also reading this. So I was reading a lot of romances, and I was kind of tired of it. I went to the thriller because I have to have a break on romances. Summer is ending in Finland. It's already raining, even though it's August. It's already raining. So you know, summer is coming to an end. So I think this might be my next book, or this one, The Waiting People. Everyone knows everything about this book, so I really also don't have to explain nothing. But I'm so excited. Do you see why I said that this is a 10 out of 10 book haul? Because he just gave me the best present ever. All the books that I never thought I would actually get my hands on, he just got them for me. And that includes this one. The amount of times I've seen this in a bookshop for like 15, 16 euros is crazy. It's a book about books. Look at this spine. Even though I'm going to put it on my bookshelf like this, because this is stunning. This is stunning. So you have The Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater. I cannot describe how happy I am to have gotten this book. It's been on my wish list for so long, just like every single book. Like, I mean it when I'm telling you that they've been here on my wish list for at least a year. At least a year. I think that this one can wait because it's not very summery. So I think it can wait. I have priorities here. I have a whole stack that I need to read still in summertime, so this one is gonna have to wait. What a way to go! What a way to go! By Bella Mackie. I read the first book, How to Kill Your Family and Get Away with It. Didn't love it. I think I gave it a 4-star. I read it at the same time as I read The Murder After the Night Before by Katie Brandt. And I loved Katie Brandt much more than this, but it's also because I read them together, or not together, but like one right after the other. So I think it might have been that made me like How to Kill Your Family and Get Away with It a little less. It's because I loved the other one so much that my expectations were so high. And Bella Mackie just came out with this new book, What a Way to Go, published also this year. There's a lot of new releases on this stack. A lot of new releases on this stack. And also, this is fate. I'm telling you, it was fate. In Czech Republic, when we were looking on the bookstore Mega Books, they had this bookmark that it's of What a Way to Go. And I was so excited. I was like, well, if I ever buy the book, at least I'll have the bookmark ready. And then Lucas got me the book. So now I have the perfect bookmark for this book. And it's staying there because I'm not going to read any other book with that bookmark. So it's staying there. We have What a Way to Go by Bella Mackie. Serial Killer Gangs. Also a funny thriller, just like this one is a funny thriller. This one, I'm not sure if it's going to be a funny thriller. I think it's a funny thriller as well. As you see, I really like thrillers, but I also like funny thrillers, murder thrillers, all these different subcategories of thrillers. And this is another one of the funny ones. Also the cover, so different. I don't know, I love this cover. And it also looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning. It's not as famous as the other ones, but it's the same vibe. Next, What Happens After Midnight. This book from last year when I read The Summer of Broken Rules. This was the second book coming from the author K.L. Wolfe. I read this The Summer of Broken Rules, and right after she dropped this What Happens After Midnight, which I thought it was a very like autumn Halloweenish book. And I read The Summer of Broken Rules in the summer, and I wanted to get it, but then I never found it on a bookstore, and Lucas got it for me. It's been a year. It's been a year ever since I first saw it, and finally got it in my hands. So I also cannot wait. Last but certainly not least, also released from this year, First Time Caller. I believe everyone knows about this book. Everyone's been talking about it, and as soon as it came out, I saw the synopsis and I was like, add it to my cart. Add it to my cart. But then we were traveling, so I didn't want to buy it, and then it would just stay in the bookshelves getting dusty. And then I saw them on the stores, and I was so close to buying them, but it was always $16, and $16 hurts to pay. So I never actually got my hands on it. You know, all of these books are just things of coincidence, like things that stopped me buying them, but Lucas keeps them. He has a list on his phone with the books that I talk about like a lot, or books that I show interest in. He puts them on a list so that then he can buy me the perfect presents, and may I say, he nailed it. He nailed it. I absolutely adore all of this, and I kind of expect them all to be 5 stars because I've been wanting them for so long, but of course not all of them are going to be 5 stars, but I hope, I sincerely think that none of this is going to be under 3.5 stars. I don't think any of this is going to be a 3-star for me. I think they're all going to be on the top. because these are books that I've been wanting for so long. I'm so grateful. So then I got to Finland and I had so many packages waiting because this was from Amazon. He got them all with a discount because it was during Amazon Prime days. So he got them with a discount. They were much cheaper than normally, like on average 7 to 8 euros. And these books are on average 15 bucks. So a very big discount. There were so many of them that he was eligible for free shipping. They all came separately, so I had a lot of unboxing to do. So I have the absolute best stack of books to read. Let me try to organize this with a red and not red piles. Okay, we have this stack of books to read, plus the ones that are still waiting in our house from Christmas. I told you in Christmas he gave me, it was either 36 or 46 books. Either one, crazy amounts of books. So now I still have there a lot of books to read, but even more now that I came from vacation, and even more now that Lucas decided to be such a gentleman to me. But yeah, I can't stop smiling. My cheeks are hurting, like they're legit hurting. If I feel like book shopping, I can just go to my bookshelf and book shop from there, you know? So yeah, I'm very excited to just get home and put them all in a bookshelf. I need to buy a new bookshelf because I don't have enough space for all of this. But yeah, that was my biggest book haul to this day, and I don't think I'll be buying books anytime soon because I have so many. I'll probably make a video organizing my bookshelf and buying a bookshelf because I need to buy a new bookshelf to have all these babies there. That was the book haul for today. I hope you liked it, and that is the first video on this channel, so applause to me. Okay, first of all, remember this is a judgment-free zone, okay? But yeah, this is Gabriella from the future, in case you couldn't tell. I'm editing my video, and what did I realize? That I forgot to do an outro. So yeah, I'm gonna do one now. Thank you so much for watching. It is a bit of a longer video. It's the first time I record for YouTube, so I could actually talk and yap as much as I wanted. So yeah, it's 40 minutes long. But it's also about 36 books, so I think that's very good. That's a very good balance. But yeah, thank you so much if you watched all of it, if you just watched certain parts. Either way, thank you so much for wasting your time watching me. I will try to make this a regular thing. I cannot promise you because I'm not a professional at these things, but I will try my best. And I hope I see you on the next one.